joining us now is a leader in the movement, New Jersey Congressman Chris Smith. Congressman, great to see you. You know, I always feel like when the media reports on this, it's never framed in a way that is accurate, right? The legacy media outlets love to talk about abortion in general, or support for Roe versus Wade, versus the reality of what states are actually doing in terms of life after the first trimester, which is 13 weeks, which is viability, which is what most Americans actually do support. So I guess the question to you is, how should we be talking about this debate in light of what I think is a realistic decision by the court coming down the pike?
Well, first and foremost, and thank you, Lindsay, and thank you, Sean, for having me on. We need to get a focus on the unborn child himself and herself. They have been neglected, trivialized, overlooked by the media, by many in the ruling clique, whether it be at the State House or in Washington, for decades. Even Gallup would always ask the wrong question about Roe versus Wade, suggesting that it's only for the first 3 months of gestation. It's for abortion on demand until birth, and that's what Roe versus Wade unleashed upon the American public. So we need to reframe it and get a focus, a national debate on the unborn child. We now have ultrasound, which we did not have with such clarity that we have today, that utterly abolishes the myth that somehow an unborn child is anything but human and alive and thriving if given the opportunity. The impact that this had on women. I worked, and my wife Marie and I work with a lot of post-abortive women. Pro-life movement is all about loving them both during the pregnancy, and if the mother does abort, continue to love and care for her, because the trauma that is suffered is so overwhelming for so many women, not in the short term, it's the intermediate and long term, and there are all kinds of ministries and outreaches by the church and by pro-life organizations like the Silent No More Awareness Campaign to reach out to them. You know, the Democrats have to defend the fact that they are for abortion on demand right up until the moment of birth. We passed, I didn't vote for it, nor did any other Republican, but every Democrat but one in the House, a bill that would eviscerate every single modest restriction, like women's right to know laws, parental notification, but it would allow abortion right until birth. So it would, you know, it's like, you know, all the changes and progress that has been made, and it's been incremental over the last 50 years. And coincidentally, I've been in the pro-life movement for 50 years. I got involved in 1972, immediately prior to Roe. We all thought it would be over quickly if people just knew the truth, but we didn't factor in how deceptive the media and the opinion molders really are, so that most people are still bewildered about the facts. That's all changing. Justice Alito's draft, hopefully it is true. It's true, but hopefully it'll come into fruition. Will finally empower the lawmakers to have that national debate, state by state, as well as in Congress, without the checkmate of the Supreme Court always hindering what we're able to do. Partial birth abortion took a decade to be enacted into law because of the Supreme Court nullifying it the first time around. Are you kidding me? A process where the baby's brains are literally sucked out after incisions are made in the back of the neck and brain. Those kinds of things, I think, need to be front and center. But we are talking about, you know, wholesale slaughter of children, 63.5 million since Roe versus Wade. That equates to the total number of people living in Italy today.
Right.
All have been killed by abortion. It is numbing, and now we have an opportunity, an historic opportunity to protect.
Right.
Absolutely. You talk about getting politicians on the record. I want to play for you a clip of what President Biden said about abortion yesterday. Watch.
I mean, so the idea that we're going to make a judgment that is going to say that no one can make the judgment to choose to abort a child based on a decision by the Supreme Court, I think goes way overboard.
Okay, so Congressman, he uses the words abort a child, admitting that it is a human, admitting it's a child. I don't have a lot of time left, but are Republicans capitalizing on this moment enough, those words?
Yes, we are, and we will do so in a very disciplined and I think a very compassionate way going forward. We want to win over hearts and minds. People are with us. You know, the poll that came out of the Marist organization found that 71% of the people in America want restrictions. The trimester gimmick doesn't tell you the story. People want restrictions, and abortion only has majorities among public opinion in the most extreme cases. So we're talking about, getting people to realize that they have been deceived, that there is an opportunity now to protect life. And when Biden, who used to be against federal funding for abortion, used to be marginally, but they are pro-life, when he says choose, to abort a child, that just betrays, the fact that in his heart of hearts, somewhere in there, he is still understands
That's right.
what abortion is all about. Politics is what has changed everything, and we need to be talking about first truths. And the first truth is it's a baby, and that baby needs protection.
Congressman Chris Smith, you've always stood up for life. Thank you for being here with us to break it down.
Thank you, Sean, and thank you, Lindsay.